Okay, so we found that x is equal to 5 over square root 2. If we were going to leave this in simplest radical form, we cannot leave a square root 2 on the bottom.
Wait, how is it over square root 2?
That's just the answer we found yesterday. Oh. So if you took notes, or actually this was 2 days ago. So if you took notes 2 days ago. Yeah. So how do you think we can get rid of the square root 2 on the bottom? Multiply it by what?
Square root 2.
So we need to multiply it by square root 2 over square root 2. Because what's square root 2 over square root 2?
1.
1. So it's just like multiplying it by 1. So we multiply the tops across and the bottoms across. So what do we get on top? 5 square root 2 over. What's square root 2 times square root 2? Square root 4. What's the square root of 4? So we get 5 square root 2 over 2. And this is our answer in simplest form. So now let's go to slide 8. So what do we need to do to get rid of the square root 2 on the bottom? We multiply it by square root 2 over square root 2. So what do we get on the top? 16 square root 2. What do we get on the bottom? Square root 4, which is 2. Can we simplify this more? How? 16 divided by 2. So we divide by the 2, and what do we get? 8 square root 2. We can't forget about that square root 2. So this is our answer in simplest form. Now let's look at the next slide. Number 2. So we have 12 over square root 2. How do we get rid of the square root 2 on the bottom? Multiply by square root 2 over square root 2. So what do we get on the top? And what do we get on the bottom? Square root 4, which is 2. And what does this simplify to? 6 square root 2. Perfect. Okay, let's look at page 15. So we found x is equal to 12 over square root 3 and y is equal to 24 over square root 3. For x, how do we get rid of the square root 3 on the bottom?
Square root times it by square root 3 over 2.
We multiply the top and bottom by square root 3. So what are we going to get on the top?
12 square root 3.
And what do we get on the bottom?
3.
3. Can we simplify this more?
Yes. 4 square root 3.
4 square root 3. We divided the 12 by 3.
Then can we do that for y?
Yep. So what do we do for y?
Times it by square root 3 over 3.
So what do we get on the top?
24 square root 3.
And what do we get on the bottom?
3.
Can we simplify this more?
8 square root 3.
8 square root 3.
Page 17 has some.
So on the test, are we able to simplify it?
Yep, on the test, you have to leave it in simplest form. So if you leave it with the square root on the bottom,
You get partial credit?
you'll get partial credit.
Like how much partial credit? Almost like all the way there?
No,
Oh, shoot.
maybe. We'll see. Okay, let's go to the next one. On page 17, number 6. So we found x is equal to 15 over square root 3. What do we do to simplify?
Square root 3 over square root
Multiply square root 3 over square root 3. What do we get on the top?
30 square root 3.
On the top, we get 15 square root 3.
Oh, 15.
And then what do we get on the bottom?
3.
So what does this simplify to? 5 square root 3. Megan, what's your question?
Are you gonna have it like a fraction already? Like you need the 15 over
No.
33?
So you guys will have to find that. So we did all these problems yesterday and the day before. So I just wrote the answer down so we could simplify the answers.
Oh,
Okay, and let's look at y. What do we need to do first?
Times it by square root 3 over square root 3.
Times it by square root 3 over square root 3. What do we get on the top?
30 square root 3.
And what do we get on the bottom?
3.
What does it simplify to?
10 square root 3.
10 square root 3.
Oh, I was looking at the second one full time.
So these are our answers for number 6 in simplest radical form.